Hi, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Women Like Me Stories in Business. I'm your host, Julie Fairhurst. And I'm so excited today. I'm so excited. I have the beautiful, amazing Stacey Collins with us today. And she is one of our newest writers in Beautiful Broken Becoming. Her story is amazing. I just can't wait to jump in. So, Stacey, welcome.
Oh, thank you, Julie. I'm honored to be here and
Oh,
just
Stacey,
be a part of this.
can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
That's a huge question. I will say about family. Well, number one, I love God. That is a very important aspect of who I am and everything that I walk in. And next, my family, my wonderful husband of 32 years, John, and then I have five children, four adults, and a 6 year old busy boy. And I am a coach, writer, and musician, worshiper, and many other, you know how over the years you gather these things about yourself. Yeah,
Yes.
just
Wow.
different variants of things. But
Yes.
yeah, I love life.
Yes. Yes. You can tell that in your story and talking to you as well. So let me start with our first question. What inspired you to want to write in the book?
Well, I heard you speak at She Speaks, I think it is.
Yes, she
And
speaks.
I just felt like this is it because I've been working on my own stories and memoir and just feeling a little unsure of where to move forward. And I had written in other compilations, but I really loved the focus of women like me. That sounds like that's me. I'm sure lots of women say that. Uh, and I felt I could do this. And this is the first time I've written as many words in a story for a compilation. So it was a big task to like look at, but I thought
Yeah.
I'm pushing myself, I'm expanding myself to be prepared for my own book. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. And that's the wonderful thing about a chapter is that you can build on it if you want to.
Yes.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, it helps writers to get started to further their story for sure. What was there anything that you almost didn't put in your story that you did, but you were thinking, maybe I shouldn't put that in there.
I think I probably didn't go as deep on some of the stories
Hmm.
uh, for the reason of protecting relationships and other people. Um, I think I went really in as much as I was able to in the season. I felt really good about that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And I get a lot of ladies who want to write, and I love what you just said because they worry sometimes about, oh, my family or my friends or this or that, but we have to remember that it's our story. We can put in what we want and we can leave out what we want, and we can work around those issues so that that's not going to be, excuse me, be a problem down the road.
Yes, so true.
Yeah. So what part of your story was the hardest to write?
Mm. I think the part about forgiveness,
Mm,
and because I feel forgiveness keeps coming back. Like I even had to deal with something the last 2 weeks um, that hit in those deep places, and I was like, oh wow. Like I was even saying yesterday, oh, well, some more healing needed. So,
yeah.
like, forgiveness is a journey.
Yes.
And, when we write a story, there's a completion in a way of that chapter or that part of our life, that season, my little 6 year old, like that era, like,
Yeah.
so, but every day there's choices to choose life, to choose love, to choose forgiveness, to choose hope, peace, and sometimes we do it, and sometimes we need someone to lift our
Yeah.
arms, lift us up. And so I think putting that in the book
Yeah.
was, I felt exposed. Someone could read it in the wrong way. I almost added in the chapter at the end, if you're reading this and and you feel pain, I'm sorry, like if, to the people who know me, if
Yeah.
they think that's them, I'm like,
Yes.
it might be,
Yeah.
but it's okay. Like I'm choosing to release. And something I said to someone the other day is I had to stop worrying about everyone else and take care of me. It's like putting your oxygen mask on. You said this to me in our pre-interview. Really, I forget how you titled it, but it was basically like, don't worry about everyone else. Take care of yourself.
Yeah.
And it seems selfish, but if we have an empty well, or if we have I cleaned out the pool the other day and there's ecosystem in there that's disgusting. And I was thinking, man, this is how, if we don't clean out things, we end up with this yucky ecosystem that's, gunk and bugs and, frogs and yucky. And that's going to be inside of me. I don't
Yeah.
want, I want
No.
to have a fresh, clean water. So I have to be reminded of it.
Yeah.
Sometimes I have to say to someone, a lady said to me the other day, are you going to believe this or that way? Do you have faith in this situation? And I just met her when I was leaving. I was like, thanks for slapping me across the face. No one else had the courage to say, call me out and say, are you going to believe this?
Hmm.
So sometimes I can't choose that, but I can be reminded of it. And writing this story helped me with that.
Yeah. You know, I and I'm not exaggerating. I can tell you that your story, I've done 353 so far, true life stories. Yours hit me, and it hit me personally. And I had to read it a couple of times because I saw myself throughout your story. Oh, I'm getting shivers. And I thought, wow, it's we're so connected, and we don't realize that so many of us feel the same way,
That's
and so many of us experience the same experiences. And it's I just hope that I hope everyone reads your story,
true.
because I think that no matter who they are, they're going to get something out of that. And so going back to what you were talking about a second ago about feeling like it's selfish to take care of ourselves. Your whole story is about learning to take care of yourself.
Yeah.
And we as women are so bad. We're
Yeah.
just so bad at that because I was talking to someone the other day, and she said, well, in different cultures, the women eat last, and the women, and then I started paying attention to me. I'm cooking breakfast, but I'm eating last, and then you start to pay attention, and we put ourselves last. What's bad about that is just what you said. If our cup is empty, if we don't have it inside of us, we can't give it to others, and then we get burnt out, and then we get tired, and then we're useless.
Yeah. And then other people have to fill in and carry for us. When I titled the story Becoming Me, the Woman I Never Knew, the journey actually started back in 22 in January, where I reached out and asked people to tell me about 1 to 3 things about me that they saw so I could come back into identity, because I actually had been through so much trauma. I couldn't know me. It's hard to explain. I'd lost a huge chunk of myself. And all these last few years, I kept saying to my children and my husband, I'm coming back. I'm coming back. And they said to me, you're never going to be back because
Mm,
you're not the same. You've been through so much. And that's where the title Becoming Me, the Woman I Never Knew, came from, because this is the word that came to me a few months ago was anew. And I looked it up, and new is something you've never seen or done before, but anew is putting new focus, perspective, and purpose behind new.
Ah,
And so I'm anew, becoming
love
me.
that.
Yeah. And that helped me because, when you've climbed mountains or you've done things in your life, you want everybody to know you in that aspect.
Hmm.
And when you're not there anymore, and you will never go back up that same mountain, you never will. One of my friends said, You're going up the other side with your equipment. I'm like, I don't even want to climb that mountain, you know? Like I heard
Yeah.
Scooter Braun say the other day, he doesn't want to be a manager ever again. And he worked with the greats, Justin Bieber, all the and I thought, wow, because he's discovered me
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
he's content. He loves his life the way it is, his family. And I think I was wrestling for relationships, for positioning, for roles, for acknowledgement, for you know community, whatever it was. I was trying to get there again. But those are my memories, and those are the treasures I can go back and say, "Oh, that's my life,"
Yeah.
and I
Yeah.
don't have to redo where I've already been.
Yes. Yeah. Wow. So reflective. That was, yeah. So, Stacey, you guys got to read Stacey's story. I'm telling you, I'm not joking around here. Okay. So, if you had a message in one sentence, what would your message be about your story? If you had to say, that quick elevator, what is elevator speech? What's my story about?
The first thing that comes to my mind is resurrecting from the death.
But that's
um,
so true.
yeah, yeah.
Absolutely.
My
That
name
is,
means resurrection too. Stacy means resurrection.
oh, so a pattern of life. Wow. Wow. Huh. So deep. Oh my goodness. Okay. So how has your life changed since you've written this? Or has it changed?
Well, yeah, we had a deadline for June 16th, and May 25th, my husband had a stroke, and we didn't even realize how serious it was. And he went back to riding his bike 8 miles and doing his thing. And then on June 12th, in the middle of the night, he had another serious stroke, and we were in the hospital for 2 weeks. So if I hadn't have written my story in the middle of before he had a second stroke, it would not have been in this book. There was no way. Everything
Hmm.
stopped. I
Yeah.
moved into a new home. All my kids have come from, far to be with dad, and my whole journey is sitting here going again, like something again. But
Yeah.
at the same time, I saw miracles. My husband had no feeling on the left side of his body. I didn't know, I'm sitting there going, is he going to walk in? Like you're just in the middle of all this. And I really feel God did huge miracles. And
Yeah.
it's still a journey, but a lot has changed
Yeah.
since I submitted this story. But I felt like a chapter had closed too. Like it's interesting as
Yes.
I read this chapter, it was like I needed to do this. And I even did an hour speech that was about something totally different than my chapter the day of my husband's second stroke. That
Wow.
morning, I gave an hour speech, and it was about choosing life overcoming in Hollywood. It was a whole different story. It was resurrection in another way, and I felt
Yeah.
closure in this chapter and in that speech. I felt closure
Yeah.
to become and
Wow.
to let go of past, and because I'm holding all those stories inside. That's why I say
Yes.
to every woman that you're questioning to write, there's healing. You say
Yeah.
this,
Yes.
what you embody.
Yeah.
There's healing in releasing stories so that you can tell more, so you can impact more. And that's where I'm at right now.
Yeah. Yeah. So much healing. I've seen it time and time again. Yeah, it's amazing what releasing can do. And there's lots of ways for releasing and lots of ways for healing. This just happens to be where I am, and a lot of the women that I work with. And you're I remember those messages coming in about your husband and thinking, oh, like, but I mean, it was just your story was meant to be. And and I think it brings it even more powerful because you were going through what you were going through while you were writing it. It was just quite the journey. So how do you find your strength during the most difficult parts of your life?
God.
Yeah.
My son was asking me yesterday, how do you know and experience that it's God, speaking to you? It was quite a profound question.
Yeah.
He was having a discussion with his dad, and I happened to step into the space, and I really feel it's like when I'm not carrying it anymore. It's like I can trust I'm not alone, and I just feel like there's this flow. Like I wrote a song on the piano 2 nights ago, and um, I wrote a song a few weeks ago too. Like that's another creative outlet, and it's like it's not mine. It's like it's given to me just like this our stories. We live them, but in the telling and the releasing of the creative, it's like it has an entity of its own. And I feel like God is create. God is created
Yes.
creation. Like God is. He said, "I am that I am," and so that is creative. And so whenever I'm going through something, I go through the first thing like, why not this again? Like I said, and I'm angry.
Yeah.
I've had situations that you never want to go through, and yet every one of them are, this young man said to me the other day, a gift, like
Mhm.
for who you're becoming. And are we going to embrace life like, oh, just every day the same? Are we going to take the gold and embrace everything that we have and make an impact? And
Yeah.
it's our world, not the whole world sometimes, but just in our world, like
Yes.
your
Yeah.
spouse, your family, all that, like your friends, the community you're in. That's what I see God does in me. And He usually brings someone like in a text, in a call, in my children, in the voice of others. He brings something.
Yeah.
Uh, Even when I'm not thinking about Him, because you need other people to hold you up. When I
Yeah.
was in the hospital with my husband, it was like people were holding me up. I don't know how many people were praying. Like I know so many people and their groups were praying, and it was just expansive. And my husband felt it, and so you don't always have to be like, oh God, like like
Yes.
it's in the being of
Yeah.
how we exist. We're created in His image, so it's just embracing life.
Yeah.
He is
Yeah.
life.
Yeah.
Not about me. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
So becoming me is actually becoming I am. Like I always say, I am
Yes.
Stacey Collins, and
Yeah.
here. And
Yes.
I say that was my journey into becoming me, because I had to have identity in something or someone, and that for me is God.
Yeah. I think that I I really appreciated what you said about, you know, seeing things as gifts. And I know not every, it's very difficult for people. And you've been through some severe trauma, but you're working and you're seeing those as gifts. My life has not been the best. I see my life as well as gifts, but there's other people who are either in fear or they're blinded to it, and they spend the same 30 days, the same 6 months, the same year after year, going through that, just circling. So, and I believe that spirit talks to everyone. So, but what is there anything you could think of that you could say to those folks that might be spinning in that circle of life and not expanding, just, living it day after day after day after day? And how can they hear those whispers? How can they hear those messages that you pick up on?
Because the ache is so great. Like I've had that heart pain where I've gone up to be prayed for and said, please just pray that this pain will go away. And so I know that feeling. I know when I couldn't get out of bed. I know when I had to push myself just to get up to go get a cup of tea and then go back to bed. And um, every journey is different. And I said the other day on my speech is sometimes you choose and sometimes you're chosen, not meaning just from God, but somebody reaches out. And so to pay attention, it's not about being all spiritual and, you know, uh, I'm close to God. And it's actually just listening and sensing, like opening up and embracing, yeah, this hurts. This is excruciating. And and going, okay, God, how if whatever you cry out to, for me, it's like, God, how do I deal with this pain? I actually had a vision a few years ago when I was in the middle of really deep grief. And Jesus showed up and he said, daughter, I want you to give me your ashes. Because at church on Sunday, the speaker, he said, put your ashes out, put your hands out and give your ashes to Jesus, right? And I was not going to, like, I was angry about that. After church, I said to my husband and friends, I didn't want to do that. Like everybody else is putting their hands out. I'm like, no. And no one actually caught that this was not a good thing that I said that. And on Tuesday, I was texting some friends, and then all of a sudden, I had this experience with Jesus. I've actually made a video about it because it was so profound, and I shared it. It was so scary to share it, but it impacted other people because they feel the same way.
Yeah.
But he said, daughter, I love you. Give me your ashes. And I said, no. And I said, these are mine. And mine are like a pregnant.
Yeah.
Mine weren't in, I could hold, mine were like holding this. And
Yes.
I had more losses after this. Okay. Like the list is long,
Yes.
but I said, no, these are my ashes that I've paid a price for these. I lost these people. I did this. And I was like, no, these are my ashes. And, I couldn't give them. And Jesus stepped forward and he put his arms around me and the ashes. And my tears were falling and the ashes were going with the tears in the wind. And it was a journey. It didn't all happen in that moment, but it was an opening of something. I can't make this stuff up, like this was
Right.
an experience
Yeah.
that actually I held on to when it got even harder. And every season, I shared this on a speech the other day, but every season prepared me for what was to come. And even the day I did the speech and wrote the chapter for the, women like me,
Yeah.
I actually was preparing, even not knowing my husband's going to go through this, right?
Hmm.
My whole life has changed. I don't like to leave the house and have to drive all the time. I got to do the grocery shopping. I got to take pictures of food. I don't know. My husband likes health, health, health. And so all
Hmm.
these things changed. And I don't think I could go through this if I hadn't learned the pattern of listening
Hmm.
and getting up. Like I say, get up, show up, and don't give up. And that might mean getting up to go get tea. That might
Yeah.
mean just from laying down on your bed to sitting up and making a choice. Today, I'm going to do one thing. If that's just um, sitting up, or if that's opening up my phone and looking up something of hope, listening to a song, grabbing a book that's inspirational. One time when I lost someone close to me, that it's 26 years now, I went to the Christian bookstore and I bought, a CD, and I sat up on the hill and played it, and my healing began. That was a 10-year journey of healing. I couldn't let go. And so everyone has their timing. And when you have multi-complex losses, like I've had multiple at the same time within my family, you can't just grieve one. You're here. It's like you're juggling balls of grief. Either I choose life or I choose death. And so even that, I want to encourage
Mm,
you. Do you want to live? And so that's the question to ask yourself, because sometimes we're chosen in that someone reaches out and says, "Hey, I want to come bring you coffee," or I want to. And if we feel alone, many of us have isolated ourselves. Like I cut people out. I literally, nobody cares about me.
mhm,
I've been in these deep, dark places. But the truth is, I didn't care about me. And so I isolated everyone and I made it that I was alone. And I had to make a choice. But at the same time, I was chosen because there were things that came that I tried to reject. Well, no one likes me, but that person they just sent me a paragraph, in a text. And I'm like, no, that's not true, and I played this mind game. So I think it's coming, I think really, truly, it's listening
mhm.
to, because we can't make hope, we can't make life. It's there for us. And sometimes it's other people bringing it to us, and that's what I want to be in my story, in what I do in my life. I want to be able to bring the hope in life for other
Yeah.
people. And that helps me too, that when I
Yes.
give to someone else. I hope I answered. I went around in sometimes
No,
a circle, but it actually goes somewhere.
no, Stacey, it was beautiful just listening to it. And as I said, your story hit me. And now you just hit me with what you said. You're just so inspirational. And I appreciate you so much for, being willing to be open and it's not easy to share your wounds and your griefs and I just really love that about the ashes and that you were just so angry and you thought, no, I'm keeping these. It's like an honor almost of
A
pain.
badge. Yeah.
Yeah. But it's so true that unless we release what's burdening us and hurting us and harming us, we're not going to live a good, well, I shouldn't say we're not going to live a good life, but we're going to have a lot of struggles
Oh, I
mentally
have to
and
say
within
this.
ourselves.
Exactly. Sorry. I was
That's
just
okay.
thinking, I was released from unforgiveness prison.
Yeah.
And
Wow.
that's a thing I wrote last year, and I thought it's so true.
Yeah.
I put myself in prison,
Yes.
not them,
Yep.
not any of
Yeah.
them. I
Yeah.
love them.
Yes.
Did I hurt them? I hurt people.
Yeah.
We hurt each other. And
Yes.
if we just think someone hurt us, we have a part in it. I have relationships, I don't know if I'll ever get them back.
Yeah.
More painful in some ways than someone dying,
Mm-hmm.
because they're like the walking dead, like
Yeah.
they're literally existing,
Yes.
and you can't relate, communicate. They're You're not the same person.
Yeah.
There's been rejection, abandonment, and even when you try to reach out and you think you're good, it's not the same.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I just learned to say, I love you.
Yeah.
I love you. And
Yeah.
I'm not perfect in that, guys. That's for me. That's selfish, okay?
Yeah.
That's actually, that doesn't make put me on a pedestal. It's like, because I have God's love. But when I say I love you, when we speak words out, they continue on. They,
Yes.
yeah.
Yes.
And so when we sit and talk negative about people, and when
Mm-hmm.
we put them up for, breakfast, lunch, supper, we actually are affecting their lives and our life. And
Yes.
our whole cells are, so for my own healing, I've had to say, I love you. And there's a verse in the Bible that I put on my wall. I think it's Psalm 18:1 or Psalm 118:1, but it says, I love you, God, you make me strong. And when I was in Hollywood, that was my theme
Mm,
verse on the wall because of what I was going through there with relationships and stuff. And that was all I could say.
yeah.
That might be encouragement to some of you too, is I took that
Yes.
verse on the wall. I love you, God,
Yeah.
make me strong. And I didn't
Yeah.
feel it all. I didn't believe it always, but saying those words
Yes.
actually brought healing to me.
So important to pay attention to what's coming out of our mouths and rolling around in our brains.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's not always good for us. Yeah. Wow, Stacey. Wow. Well, I could continue to listen to you all day, but unfortunately, our time is almost up. What would you like to say to all of the women out there who are struggling right now? If you could whisper something in their ear, what would you say?
Wow. It's hard to put that into a little nugget, but I would say you're not alone
Mm,
and life is just beginning. And you are a creative being, and there's more to release and give. And I just want to encourage you to remember that little girl that played at the park, that sang the little songs, that, you know, sat and read books and played with your dolls,
mm,
and or if you did sports, remember those moments and look at them. Like I shared in my story when I was dusting my mom's china. Uh, remember those moments because they are key to
yes.
coming back, to becoming, to resurrecting and coming into who you are. And you're not done. You are not done.
No.
So as long as you have breath in you, we need you. We need you
Yeah.
to exist and be and release. And I
Hmm.
have so much excitement. That's like I'm working on stuff for women in this aspect of helping you unpack and see and believe. I
Yeah.
think my biggest thing is God gave me years ago, 30 years ago, dream, imagine, believe. And I really feel that's what I'm called to walk in.
Yeah.
Women,
Wow.
that's what I want you to do. Dream,
Yeah. Yeah.
imagine, believe that you can.
Wow. Beautiful. I want everyone to know that if they would like to reach out to Stacey, we will have her details in the detail section of the podcast and also the video. And the other thing is, Stacey, you gave us a free song.
Mhm.
I've listened to it twice so far. It's
Well,
beautiful. So I'm going to make sure that that link is in the podcast and also in the YouTube video. So I want you all to listen to that. It's it's a beautiful song. Just beautiful, but it'll be there for you. So we'll have lots of ways you can reach out to Stacey and you can also listen to her beautiful song because she has a lovely voice as well as a lovely heart. So thank you again, Stacey, for being here. Thank you for writing in the book. Thank you for being so inspirational and encouraging so many women out there. I appreciate you so much.
and thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, take care. Bye-bye.